The Canadians and the Leafs. I don't know what else there is to really say. You don't really need to build up a Canadians and a Leafs game.
No.
So I guess what I'll simply do here right now is ask both of you, and I'll start here with Alex. What are you expecting tonight from both teams?
Okay. I've been thinking about this all day because I heard, there's these guys who are in the best shape of their lives, and there was training camp. But like, I don't necessarily think it's going to be the best hockey ever. Like, even in a regular season with exhibition games and a proper training camp, the first few games really aren't the greatest hockey.
Um,
So,
you are getting a little robot-y.
oh, how about now?
Oh, it's getting worse.
You cut out a bit.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
You sounded like how Megatron looked at the end of Transformers. We can hear you, yeah, but it's
It just cuts out a bit, like towards the end of the sentence.
How about now?
give us a little something. Like,
Yeah,
give
so
us
I
some
was
sense.
just saying about it's not going to be the greatest hockey just because it's an odd season,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, it sounded like it fixed there.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We like. I almost said it was ring rust. That's wrestling. They're going to be rusty. First of all, even if they had like obviously these guys played the off season has been shorter than normal, a little extended because they were supposed to start at the beginning of January, but it's still the normal sort of knockoff that we'd see when the seasons start normally. Plus, they have less of a training camp and no preseason games to get ready for.
Yeah, I still think it's going to be a good game though.
Alex.
I agree with this. I think there's so many different aspects of each team that you're gonna see a lot more of a rollout of the lines where they're gonna try to experiment in a way.
Your camera's frozen, by the way, Alex. Okay, it's fixed
It's
now, I
okay.
think.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Okay, all right. I guess first off, I mean, stories to keep an eye on, as always, is first off, Austin Matthews has a very terrible tendency of scoring a goal in every home opener he's ever played in. And he also loves scoring on Carey Price in the first month of the season. I think he's done it. It's a ridiculous amount.
Was it it's 4 times, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous because obviously his debut game was the famous one, and then he has that naturally a scorer is going to score, but he'll be looking to set that record, of course. And naturally for the Canadians, and we're talking about Russ, there will be a question of what will that Canadians team look like with the injection of so many different players? How will certain guys play? I'm just wondering if also on the Leafs, of course, there are some new additions, but maybe if you guys give me a couple players that you're sort of looking at, just kind of see how they're fitting in with their new squads.
Daniel, did you want to go first?
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, so I think 2 guys I really want to look for is Wayne Simmons and TJ Brody. I really want to see how Brody kind of fits in with that those top pairings with see how he goes with the Morgan Riley. That's something that I've been anticipating to see how that really goes. Why Cal Dubas has been wanting this guy for 2 years, and just want to kind of really see, is this, not is this it, but is this finally where we can say, no more carousel beside Morgan Riley.
Mm-hmm.
And for Wayne Simmons, I think I've always been such a huge fan of him that his type of game, I still think perfectly translates. I don't think that, he's one of those players that's way past his prime, but I really understand that there are those type of players that his style is something that, doesn't always age too well. But I think he can still play at a pretty high level. It just didn't really work out with him last year with the Devils and the Sabres. But I think now he's playing in a role that perfectly suits where he is in his career, and something I think the Leafs absolutely needed.
Mm-hmm. Alex.
Yeah, just Austin Matthews has 9 goals in 4 opening night games.
Jesus.
4 in the first one, 1 in his second year, and then the last 2 years he's scored 2 in each game.
Mhm.
I don't remember who they played though, except
Mhm.
Ottawa, obviously. But
Yeah.
so there's a couple of guys. There's TJ Brody and Wayne Simmons. I'm also interested to see what Jimmy VC looks like. Just because he was supposed to be so good, right? The VC sweepstakes. Unfortunately, Toronto lost it the first time, but I'm interested to see how he plays because he's going to be next to Tavares and Nylander, and specifically with Tavares, he props guys up, right? Last year or a couple of years ago, Marner, last year Nylander, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm interested to see how Tavares rubs off on VC. If they continue to go with that line, TJ Brody, same as Daniel was saying, pretty much it gives Riley like his best partner he's ever had, period.
Mhm.
And Dubas has wanted this guy since he traded Kadri. So I'm interested to see what he sees in this guy. And Simmons is, everyone wanted him to come back to Toronto, and he really fits what the team needed, even though they lost Kyle Clifford. As Brian Burke would say, they didn't add Wayne Simmons, they lost Kyle Clifford. But I think Wayne Simmons does a little bit more than Kyle Clifford. I saw Kyle Clifford as extremely gritty, but I think Wayne Simmons is extremely gritty, but he has a different element to his game as well. And now that he's had a full year off, pretty much a full year off, I think we're going to see a rested Wayne Simmons, and I don't think we've seen that in a while.
I would hope that tonight the best thing to not notice would actually be TJ Brody. You know what I mean? Just to
Yeah.
make sure that Morgan can go do his thing. It's a classic thing of if I don't notice Jacob Slavin, it's a great night. If I notice Carl Elsner, we were in for a rough night when he was a Canadian.
I just like add to one more thing. I think I mentioned it earlier, but I think for the Canadian side, it's just that depth, that rolling out of the lines of what they've really added, seeing what really works, because I think this is probably one of the deepest Montreal teams I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, I was going to ask that next. Because I did mean when I asked names, like I was hoping you'd give me some on both squads there.
Okay, yeah,
I
sorry,
thought
trying to
I
balance
didn't
it
know.
out now.
Okay, I can do that too.
No. Yeah, please.
Okay, so I guess I feel like these are cheesy answers, but I'm saying Kotkaniemi and Suzuki. I think it's easy to say Toffoli and Anderson, but I think those two guys, because they're young and we saw them take next steps in the playoffs. Now the real question is, can they take those next steps over a full NHL season?
Daniel, you talked about the depth itself. Is there an individual player from the Canadian, or two players maybe? I don't know. However many you want. Maybe you love as much as
I think for me, there's three. So
Okay.
number one, Nick Suzuki, the development. I love the guy, Asian player. I want him to continue to kind of develop in his role. I think I saw with the expected lines, he's supposed to be the first line center tonight. And I just kind of want him to keep, stay there, keep that consistency going. Second is Tyler Toffoli, because I just love his game, and I love that I predicted that he was going to come to Montreal. So I'm going to keep remembering that for the season. And third is Carey Price, still one of my favorite players, someone that I just love that he's still dominating, that he still kind of showed last year I could still be, arguably the best goalie in the game.
From my side, first for the Leafs, I'm really, really interested to see what Mitch Marner's going to look like this entire season. I just have this really unfortunate feeling for the Canadians that he's just going to come out and be he's going to hit another level, which is kind of weird to say about Mitch Marner because he's already so good. But without the contract's been out the way and, just the events that have happened in the past year, that now that sort of the heat's been off of him. Also, Joe Thornton, just to see what he's like in the new environment. Just because he's just been such a thing of the Shark, you wonder if there will be a bit of a jolt. And then I felt I mentioned the defenseman beside Brody, Muzzin again, because it's really felt like. Is it weird to say that Muzzin's the best defenseman on the Leafs?
No.
Because I feel like he is. And again, I think he's going to be another guy who he's just going to be such a centerpiece of that team this year. And if there were going to, because he's just such a rare talent, I think Muzzin on both ends of the ice. So I'll be very much looking forward to watching him. Again, not against the Canadiens.
I still don't think people appreciate that trade.
No, I mean, Grunstrom's getting in trouble being part of a team that's having gambling issues, but
man, remember when I loved that guy? 'Cause I kept talking about him.
Yes.
And for the Canadians, number one, Josh Anderson. I am so interested to see how his season turns out. And it feels like he's this kind of phenom, like almost like an animal at the zoo when everyone's like pointing at, look at him, he's great. He's like a lion or something. He's like the big gorilla, an orangutan or something. Like the ones from, is it the orangutan? What's the big red monkeys that are from, or apes that are from Planet of the Apes? Are they orangutans?
I don't know.
Going off camera.
I gotta watch that movie again.
I just thought they were apes.
They're kind of
Check out next episode and we confirm.
But like the big fellas, and naturally Alexander Romanov, because obviously the young guys, you expect the next step, but you get a general sense of their game. But Romanov is just such an unknown, really. It's clear he is an NHL player from just the way. It's kind of weird to say just from a drill, but you can tell. And just it seems like they trust him already, which is so strange because they have not been like this with a player in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm excited for. That and Jake Allen, really. Because Jake Allen, why not? He won't be playing tonight, but yeah. But Josh Anderson.
I thought you were going to say Jake Evans.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, listen, I love Jake Evans, but he'll just be a safe, nice Kulak as well. Why not?